Welcome to the MSP Corner podcast. Before we kick off our show, we would like to share what our main objective is at the MSP Corner. Our main goal is to help CEOs build profitable and self-sustainable IT service firms. We are not just providing tools for IT firms, we will be sitting in meetings with you to ensure your IT firm stays on track. The first area we are focused on, strategic sales. IT firms are stuck selling technology or IT support. We will provide you with the blueprint so you position your firm as an added value to your prospects. We will have framework on how to sell value so you influence the prospect into selecting your firm. The second area we see many IT firms struggle in is marketing. 90+% of businesses rely on antiquated marketing methods. The most popular choice, word of mouth. We have proven methods on how to attract the ideal prospect. Our framework will include how to become the online authority and be the business influencer for an industry. The third component to our package, scaling. IT firms walk away from opportunities because they lack the bandwidth or skill set to scale. We have lined up reputable businesses so our members can hire on-demand resources that will allow them to scale their business. The fourth area we will offer help in, selecting the right tools. In order to deliver value, you need the right tech stack. Our platform will offer information on products that are the ideal choice for MSPs. The fifth area we will offer help in is with documentation. Templates are a critical component when building an MSP. We will have contracts, proposals, SOWs, collateral, and much more in the template section. You will have every document you need to start up your managed IT service business. Thank you for tuning in. Let's go to our next podcast. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning into our podcast. I am your host, Fernando Leon. I'm joined by my co-host, Gregory Moravietz. And today we have a special guest. And we have James Kernan here from Kernan. It's Kernan Consulting. Is that right, James?
Yep. Kernan Consulting. You got it.
All right. And we got a 30, 45 minute show going on today. And I'm going to quickly share some information on what today is going to be all about. But let me give you guys a quick overview on James Kernan. And James is the creator of the MSP Mastermind Peer Group, and recently published Leadership Essentials for Successful Executives, and has impressively authored 3 leadership books. Very impressive. And expert with M&A and EOS. And we'll get into EOS in a little bit because it's new to me also. But let me give you guys a quick breakdown on Kernan Consulting, because that's the group providing the value, and it's an award-winning consulting firm providing one-on-one executive coaching, CEO peer group coaching, and other services like M&A, EOS, and sales and marketing related training. And since 2006, over 750 businesses in 6 different countries have successfully been coached through their programs. And they've also helped 30 other business owners through either buying or selling their firms successfully. So very impressive numbers there, James. So
thank you.
Yeah, no worries. But before
all of that, I feel like I'm 100 years old.
Well, it is impressive. But before we go into before we start the podcast, I want to quickly go over the table of contents. So let's kick that topic off real quick. But we'll get a little bit more info on Kernan Consulting, all the value they bring, and obviously what value do they have to offer MSPs. Should all businesses have a business plan? These are the questions we're going to be asking James. So stick with us. What is EOS? Right? We'll quickly define that acronym, and James is going to share what his thoughts are on that. He's going to also he's also going to talk about why marketing is so important. How do you attract A talent in an industry with low unemployment? Why should MSPs stay connected for info and trends? And what works best? This is a great topic here. Organic growth or growth by acquisition. So let's kick this off. James, thanks again for joining us. I appreciate you making time for us.
You bet.
And for our audience, tell us, we did hit some highlights for Kernan Consulting, but tell us a little bit more about your group there.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you. So I've been in the industry, the channel for over 30 years, and first 15 years, bought, sold, owner ran 7 different tech companies. On the front half of my career, I had a successful exit with my last company, Networks Plus, in San Diego. And for the past 15 years, really been enjoying coaching and consulting MSPs to take their business up to the next level and become more successful. So you highlighted the core programs that we do, but the one thing I will say that's different from my firm versus others is, one, we do have a successful track record. There's a lot of coaches in the industry. Unfortunately, not all of them have been successful. So the experience, I think, is really important. And then the consulting is just all me. It's 100% me. So when I work with someone, it's a one-on-one where I really get intimate in the business, roll the sleeves up, and help you take that business up to the next level. So I love what I do. It's kind of a form of giving back. I've been in the channel for so long, and I just love the channel and love helping people find success. So that's a little bit more about what we do.
No, that sounds great. I mean, it sounds a lot like our journey here at Single Point of Contact. And one of the reasons we started the MSP Corner was to help others, right?
Yeah.
Because MSPs, we're the ones that make the world go round, James. I mean,
Yeah.
you know how it is. You can have all the sexy hardware and sexy software and sexy people in place, but if IT isn't configured correctly, or if there's some type of security breach or anything, it's your firm is going to have problems if you don't have good IT people or a good MSP group in place. So we make it happen. So there's a lot of value we have to offer, but give us a quick overview on the value you offer MSPs, because as you know, these guys, I work with a lot of them. That's
Yeah.
all we work with, are IT firms.
Yeah.
And we want to, we, they all have their own struggles. Some of them are a bit prickly, some of them are a bit stubborn,
Yeah.
but offering them value is, it's going to perk their ears. But, they've heard it all before. So I want some type of compelling statement, because you gotta have something that's going to touch on relate to their struggles, relate to their challenges, and what is the value you have to offer these guys, because a lot of them need help in different areas.
Yeah. Yeah. So couple key points. I guess first and foremost, I'm a numbers guy, so I'll just say, the average customer that I work with, the first year improvement compared to their prior year, on average, we increased net income over 77%. So the average mastermind peer group member in their first year outperforms the average US business, according to the Small Business Administration, growth rate by 2.5 times. So we're all about growth and accountability. We've been there, done that. And especially in our peer group setting, surround you, the business owner, with other like-minded, growth-oriented go-givers that want to help you, but they want to learn and collaborate. So when you're in that kind of environment, it makes a huge difference from your numbers. So that's first and foremost. Most people come to me or to us because there's something wrong in the business. It'd be fun if someone was super successful and they wanted our help, but you know how it is, Fernando, when everything is going great, you think you've got it mastered and you don't need anybody's help.
Yep.
But I think the reality is that's when you need more help than not. But most of the time, people will come to us with some compelling issue going on in their business. Their top salesperson leaves and stole a bunch of accounts, or they just lost their biggest account, or they're in a big lawsuit, or they're just stuck. That's a very common one. They're stuck and they don't know how to market their business and differentiate themselves. And it feels like just yesterday that I was running my own company. I had, you know, the same concerns, sat up in bed at 2 o'clock in the morning and was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to make payroll on Friday? I don't know how I'm going to do that. The stress that we have in this industry is brutal.
Yep.
And, so we just have a lot of experience that we will share with people, and we do it all in a positive way. Hold people accountable, and we help you get results in a positive way. So that's a little bit more about the results that we could bring people.
Let me ask you a question, and maybe you can either relate or explain to the group how you would overcome this challenge.
Yeah.
Because I have my approach, and I want to hear what you would have to say. But I've because I only meet with CEOs of IT firms or MSPs or MSSPs, and they all it's like they all come from the same family because they all have the same problem. They all have the same dysfunction, right?
Mhm.
And I'll I started working. I'm not going to name any names because we don't want to embarrass people, but um, I give them a specific framework. I go, look, this is your specific challenge with your organization.
Mhm.
We need to start doing this. This is what we need to do. And I cannot get from point A to point B without you if you don't do these things, right? And I give them a list of items that they need to do. And I'm not even charging them. And I think that's the problem, because I'm not charging them for my time. I'm not charging them for advice. I'm just, I'm helping them out because they have a really tight budget. So I
Yeah.
tell them, look, I need you to do one, two, three, four, and five. And then we're going to go to that next step so we can start building you up to be that online authority so you can start generating organic traffic and organic leads and blah, blah, blah. More business will come in.
Yep.
I can't get them out of step one. They can't get past it. They're like, oh, I'm nervous. I can't do that. I need you to create a video for me. I need you to do this. I need you to be on my podcast show. I need you to create a podcast. Oh, I'm gonna I can't get out of my comfort zone. I'm too nervous, and it's a struggle.
Yeah.
They want all the all the leads. They're like, oh, I'll be great with all these leads, but they're not willing to put the work in to make it happen. What do you do? Because James, at the end of the day, you're going to sell them your product. You're going to say, hey, we're going to make you successful, even more successful. And
Mhm.
then at the end of the day, they don't accomplish what you want them to do, and they're like, oh, James sucks. James
Right.
is awful. He didn't come through for me. And it's like, well, let's look at the back end here. You were supposed to do this, this, and that. So keeping
Right.
them accountable is definitely could be a challenge. How do you overcome that?
Yeah. So that's a great question and great point. I guess first and foremost, I'll do a consult call for the most part with anybody. And you get a referral. I'll spend 30 minutes with someone, and I'm asking lots of questions, and I'm trying to understand where they're at in the business, and I'm really trying to understand if I can add value and help them move the needle forward. But at the same time, I'm also seeing if they're a fit for me. And back to your point, the truth be told, why most business owners get stuck, it's their own damn fault.
Yep.
They
Yep.
the fear of failure, this self-defeating prophecy. They come up with 5 reasons why they can't do something instead of figuring out 5 ways that I can. That's that doom and gloom mindset. And a lot of people, they've not been around success and they just get stuck, and that's okay. That's normal. You just have to be willing to change. And then, Fernando, you said something really important too. It's a 4-letter word. I hope we're allowed to say 4-letter words on the show, but
I love.
it,
Go ahead.
it's called work. You have to work. There's no silver bullet, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's not so hard, but it's normally not easy. But you got to roll up your sleeves and get it done. And early in my consulting career, that drove me crazy. I lay out a plan, we start working on things, and we just weren't making progress because they weren't getting the things done that they were supposed to. So, um, I hinted at this when we were doing the opening, but I roll up my sleeves and I'll do it. We'll have a meeting, and at the end of each meeting, I'm tracking our goals. We're walking through the plan. We're talking about our to-dos, and I'll assign to-dos to the business owner, but I'm also assigning to-dos to myself and my team. And then we'll turn around, and if I see that they're not getting things done, I'll say, you know what? Hey, I have an offer letter template in my library. I'm just going to update it and I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to send it over. You'll have it in your inbox in 5 minutes. Or you have this employee handbook project that's been waiting forever. I've got a template. So I've templatized a lot of the things that we do because they're all repeatable. We do the same things in these businesses because I've been doing it for so long. But I just will help them get things done by doing it myself. But in a positive way, I'll hold people accountable. I take meeting notes. I send reminders. We meet either every week or every other week, and I just talk about the progress. Sometimes I'll do it if I need to, but there was a client in kind of closing my answer to your question. There was a client I worked with for 3 months, and we just went round and round and round. And finally, I just said, "Hey, listen, you're not implementing the things that we're talking about. The reality is you set a goal in the very beginning. You wanted to grow by X percentage with the intentions of selling your business. Between me and you don't want to grow your business. You want to keep it the same. So we
Mhm.
need to adjust the plan, because we're wasting our time." And he goes, "James, you're exactly right. I don't want to hire more people because it's more work. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I like things the way they are." And then, we just had to decide, then what's the end game? Do you want to sell the business or just kind of run it? So he just decided to run the business as is instead of trying to build it, grow it, and sell it. So hope that answered your question.
It does. It does. And this, I'm a big believer in the qualification, right?
Y-
Because
Yeah,
you have your ideal client profile, your ICP, and if they don't meet it, hey, move on. It doesn't. Hey, it's not a fit for everybody. Just
yeah,
because you're in IT doesn't mean that, oh, you're an automatic fit. And we already know who's out there pounding the pavement saying everybody is a fit for my firm, and it's like, no, that's not the case. Not everybody has the same goals. So I
right.
get it. I get it. No, I completely agree. And I think that communication is also key, right? To saying, hey, you know what? I came in here all gung ho. I'm pretty happy with just the status quo. I'm happy
Right.
with how things are going. And
Right.
let me tell you, I don't know, you could be in this business for 20 years
Hmm.
and all of a sudden you lose half of your clients, and then you're like sitting there thinking, why didn't I have something in place that generates leads or something along the lines that, right? That's something that's going
Yeah.
to create something predictable so they have at least something coming in. So, yeah, it can be scary.
Yeah.
Hopefully none of them have to go through that, but hey, we've gone through it many times. Many,
And
many times. You
And
lose.
and normally in upfront conversations, consultations, or the assessment, we'll uncover things like that, and I'll figure that out and see if we're a fit. The one other thing I pride myself in is if I'm not a fit for everybody, I know that clear as can be, but I know lots of people. and I'll always give you an answer to your question and refer you to someone else who I feel like is a fit and can help you. There's a lot of great, competent consultants and coaches in this industry for sure.
Yep. Yep. Well, let's hit on this next topic. Is it important that all businesses have a business plan?
Uh, my answer is yes, absolutely. And
Okay.
jokingly, you know, to me, a business plan coming out of business school, right out of college, we were taught, business plans are that 3 to 5 year projection. What do things look like 3 to 5 years? This industry, Fernando, as you know, moves like a freight train. It moves so fast. I mean, it can change overnight.
Yep.
And thinking of putting projections together for 5 years out is really kind of a joke.
Yep.
So what I've done in my practice, one of the exercises that I do onboarding wise is what I call the one-page business plan. So the one-page business plan is broken down into 4 simple components. It takes us 15 to 30 minutes to do together. But the very first part is, what's your why? Why do you do what you do? What are you
Yep.
passionate about?
Yep.
And we start with that, and that's really kind of the mission statement of your business. Part 2, which is the harder part, it's what's your unique selling proposition? How are you different or better than your competition? What
Yep.
what 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 makes you stand out? Sometimes it's your core values, sometimes it's unique skill sets, sometimes it's certifications or some type of partnership or exclusivity. But we've got to figure out something that makes you stand out and then highlight that as kind of the foundation messaging in your go to market strategy. But that's your unique selling proposition. And I've written hundreds and hundreds of them, so I can help people with that. The other part is just simplistic. What is your 12-month goals? And what are your 12-month priorities? What are the key objectives? Believe it or not, all of that fits on one page if you make the font really tiny. But so I have a 3 page, or it's a 3 page document. This exercise, the first 2 pages kind of give you explanation of what I just highlighted, and then the very last page is an example of one I wrote years ago. But I just do that for reference so people know what one looks like. And any of your listeners, if they want, you can just email me at james@kernanconsulting.com. I'll email you the exercise for free, but it's a real simple exercise to just get you going. But yes, absolutely, you need a business plan. It's just a dream if it's up in your head, especially if you have employees. You need to connect them to what your vision is for the business. And to make it real, it needs to be in black and white. And I frequently see that one-page business plan in my client offices, pinned up on the wall of all their employees. It's something that you should be sharing with your team.
Yep.
So absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I like it because you're right. You don't need all that fluff, right? There's so much fluff in business plans that I'm like,
Right.
yeah, it's just at times I look at these and go, oh, that's just silly. But I like it. I like your approach. It's very to
Yeah.
the point, and it's about goals, and you need to discuss your goals. You need to write them down. So, all right, I like that. I like that. All right, I've been looking to this next. I've been looking forward to this next topic. So, tell us a little bit about EOS. How does all that work? And I looked it up already, so I got a little preview of it, but I'm interested
I,
to hear what you have to say about it.
I just love the acronym because we're all techies, right? And it's
Yep.
the EOS stands for Entrepreneurs Operating System.
Yep.
All right. It's a
Yep.
business blueprint that you drop into your business to create accountability, create structure, create success, and get everybody on one sheet of music. And if it's one thing I've seen, Fernando, when working with hundreds of MSPs all around the world, in most cases, the business does not have structure. There's a lack of accountability. There's a lack of transparency. Most people don't know what's expected of them. And this is a real simple process. Years ago, I was gifted a book called Traction. It was probably, the book came out about 12, 13 years ago. Gino Wickman's the author, and he wrote the book Traction. And it talked about EOS. And EOS is a series of exercises that build out your VTO, your Vision Traction Organizer. And it's normally an exercise that an EOS implementer will take your leadership team through over a weekend. And I didn't, so I went through all the training, started implementing this with some clients of mine when my office was in California. And I loved it because I'm a numbers guy. And, but what I didn't like was, a leadership team, you guys already work really hard. And I didn't like pulling people away from their family. And then, entertaining a group of type A personalities for 8 hours straight is pretty challenging. So I ended up just taking the exercises and broke them into 1 hour meetings. I do them over Zoom, and then I put my own spin on things, but I kind of broke it down into 12 exercises that make up your full VTO. Things like, what are your core values? What is your why? To really define your culture. One of the exercises is the marketing plan. One of the exercises is the people analyzer. Then we create a 10-year plan or 10-year goals, 3-year goals, 1-year goals, and then break them down into the quarter. How to run a meeting, a leadership staff meeting that's fast and upbeat and has an agenda so everybody knows what's expected of them. And then to me, the favorite exercise is what I call the dashboard. And the dashboard is just a combination of performance data and financial data that we pull right out of our tools. And it can go on a spreadsheet, it can go on an onboard dashboard or online dashboard. Just leverage the tools that you already have, but it's numbers that we share what our actual goal is versus our actual performance every week. So everybody knows how they're doing, meaning, the company, the departments, and then down to the individual. And that dashboard really creates transparency and gets everybody, to pay closer attention to what's going to move the needle for the business. So um, the EOS really is that business blueprint that can help you create that culture of success that you deserve and you want.
Nice, nice. That's great. That's great. Um, you know, the next topic, you're preaching to the choir when it comes to marketing, but please share. You've been in this business. I'm just one party. You're another person that's going to preach to the choir or preach to the audience why marketing is so critical to the IT industry. I do. Gregory and I created a podcast on what's more important, marketing or sales, and they both have their, I think it's very balanced. You need both, but
Right,
they each need to be in place because you can't do one without the other. You just can't.
right, right. Yep.
So please explain to everybody why marketing is so important. And there's going to be part two to this question is, what marketing market mechanisms had you implemented for your own business? So we want to hear about that also.
Yeah, yeah, you bet. So I've always said marketing is the oxygen for your business. You need to do it all the time.
Yep.
And create a plan, identify your partners. You want to run as many campaigns as you have the bandwidth and the budget to do. One of the important things, most people think of marketing as an expense in your business. It's like, oh, great, we're going to run this campaign. This is going to suck. It's going to be $3,000. This is a nightmare. I don't even want to do it. And one of the things I learned early in my career with organizations that I worked with is we work with our distributors and our manufacturer partners. We create a plan, we show them here's what the plan is, and we involve them in our marketing so they help fund and sponsor all of the marketing campaigns that we would do. And when I ran my last business, I had my marketing department set up really as a profit center. We made money every month. That's one of the profit revenue streams that I had because we sold sponsorships as we were growing and things were going so well for us. A lot of the key manufacturers, they all wanted us to resell their goods and services, to our customers and to our prospects. We had a pretty well-oiled machine. So, the difference, sales and marketing do go hand in hand. And I completely agree with that. And I, grew up in sales my whole life, but everything starts with marketing. You know, if you don't get a lead, you don't need an accountant, you don't need an engineer, you don't need a project manager. And I'm not trying to offend anybody, but marketing is so important because that's the first thing you have to do. Everything
Sure.
starts with marketing and the lead has to come in. And then you fulfill that lead with everything else that you've got in your org chart. So market everything starts with marketing. So that's to me one of the more important things that you need to really have a conceited, concentrated effort on and a plan to run campaigns, get leads, and convert them.
Yep. Yep. No, I agree. I agree. Did you have any specific mechanisms in place to market your organization?
Yeah. So, mind you, I've been in the industry for a long time, and marketing has changed over the past 30 years from the old traditional cold calling and the direct mail and the postcards and the speaking events and the trade shows. The thing I'll say is, again, there's no one silver bullet. Don't just Most small MSPs don't have a marketing department. I'll ask them, "Hey, what are you doing for marketing?" And they go, "We do absolutely nothing." And I'm like, "Oh, do you take referrals?" "Oh, yeah, yeah, we get referrals." "Do you do QBRs?" "Yeah, yeah, we do QBRs." I go, "Well, there's 2 campaigns right there." Let's start with that. Maybe add a newsletter. Let's do some social media. Let's do, some video, some podcasting, and get your name out there. And marketing was so interesting. I went from a $330 million organization. I was one of the owners, VP of sales and marketing. I left that organization. I bought a little 3-person MSP in San Diego. Nobody knew that company from Adam. And
Yeah.
I didn't have a choice. I needed to market to all of my old customers, all of these prospects. I was in a Southern California market. It's a very competitive market. And the good news for me is when I bought that company, there was an economic downturn. So one of the interesting things, you'll see most businesses, they cut out marketing and advertising when uh, uh, when the market's down or when their cash flow is slow, they'll start cutting line items like that out of their budget. I doubled down and I put a lot more dollars into marketing because I just had to get the word out, and it paid off huge dividends. I mean, we grew in 3 years from about 378,000 when I bought the business to over 12.1 million 3 years later, but it was all really because of marketing. And we did a lot of speaking events as well. And then as we got bigger, we did movie premieres. One of the fun ones we did the Matrix movie was coming out, kind of a techie movie. We did like a red carpet night. I had about 8 different vendors all pitch in like $1,500. I told them I'd share the list, and we had about 350 attendees come in, get a coupon for sodas and popcorn. They came into the movie theater, and then walking into the movie theater, we had the little vendor table set up right as you came in, and we were kind of cornered off in the San Diego, one of the big movie theaters down there. So then I was able to jump up on stage and just kind of say thank you and a quick pitch on our company for 10 minutes, thank our sponsors, and then we watched the movie. We did things like that, involved family members, from our customers and our prospects, involving spouses and family members. We had great turnout at all of our events, and we drove a ton of business through there. And I had the sponsors all chomping at the bit because they wanted to be a part of that because we had such high ROI on those. So those were some fun things that we did to help move the needle.
Very cool. Very cool. And yeah, something you did back in the early 2000s, late 90s, is that right?
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Really in the 2000 timeframe was when we were doing the movie premieres. We're doing a lot of
Okay.
that. Things that work really well today, networking events are super popular. Social media, if you're doing social media, do video, try to go live, do video. People buy from people. and they need, they don't want to see a picture with some content you found online. They want to see you.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
part of
Yeah.
the unique selling proposition should be really highlighting you. And the one tidbit of advice I'll tell you, I was in a it was like a sales class a long, long, long time ago, and I remember the sales trainer said, "How many of you enjoy public speaking?" And I don't think any hands went up. And they said, "Well, how many of you think you can public speak, without being super nervous?" And only a couple hands went up. He
Uh,
goes, "You want to be the best salesperson in the room?" He goes, "Go take a public speaking class. Go join Toastmasters and start practicing and getting comfortable of standing up and taking control of a room." And I remembered that, and I started practicing and practicing. And one of those movie premieres, I think it was the first time I had to get up in front of 350 plus people. It had been a while since I've spoken in front of a group that size. And Fernando, I was terrified.
yeah.
I remember sitting in my car, trying to get all psyched up, and I may not had a couple sips of whiskey to calm the jitters. But it you know it just all I'll say about public speaking is practice makes perfect. So you just need to practice and get out there and do it. And it's really easy on camera, on social media. That's a great effective way to get some leads.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I bet. I bet. Well, the next topic is pretty interesting because we all have this same struggle. It's how are you going to attract a talent in an industry that we all know there's a low unemployment rate. It's tough. We find it tough.
Yeah.
So we're surrounded by the Facebooks, the Twitters, the Ciscos, the Apples. We're in a really tough environment. So do you have any advice on, how somebody can attract a talent
Yeah. Yeah.
for their
So,
firm?
getting A players is really hard. I'll first challenge everybody to just think for a minute, and I'm going to ask a tough question. It's like, do you feel that your business is attractive?
Yep.
Would
Yep.
you want to go work for your business?
Yep. Okay.
What does it look like from the other side of the window? And most times, you get a negative answer. And it's
Yep.
like, okay, we need to make you more attractive, and then find the things that are exciting. And then we put a whole program with companies that I work with in our peer groups or one on one, but we'll put a recruiting presentation together, just like a PowerPoint presentation when you're going to go do a sales pitch to a prospect. You could take that same deck and then add some additional pages to it of what's the culture like, what are your core values, what is the compensation or career path opportunities, why would you want to go work there?
Yep.
So we teach people how to make their business more attractive. And then the very first meeting I would meet with potential recruits, uh, we would do group interviews or I would do individual interviews. And my goal, whether I thought they were a fit or not, I wanted them so excited about trying to join our company that they'd do anything to come work for us. And if we decided not to hire them, I learned a lot about where they work, and and they'd be terrified to ever compete against us. So it's a recruiting is a process. First and foremost, I would just say, to kind of answer the question, you need to create your recruiting process. There's some other little tips and tricks I don't have time to go into, but I'd highly recommend put together a 30-minute presentation where you're talking about your business and why you would want to come work there. You need to make your business more attractive. What are all
Yep.
the fun things that you can do, like training and uh, you know team events and things like that, that people, they want to hear things like that.
Yep. Yep. No, I agree. I agree. People, they appreciate when you create that type of culture, a
Yeah,
culture that makes it feel like it's a family, not you're just not a number at an
right,
organization. So yeah, I agree with that. It's a great
right.
approach.
Fernando, I remember a funny question I would ask just in the middle of the interview. Sometimes people get real nervous and you can kind of tell. I would just say, "Hey, let me ask you something. How good are you at playing softball? Are
Yeah.
you a pretty good softball player? Or can you play basketball?" And they're like, why are you asking that? I go, well, we have got several intramural teams that we have, we do a lot of fun things together as a team, a company. And we have several teams that we sponsor and we encourage that kind of stuff. And, it just kind of catches them off guard. But I like mixing in some of the fun things that we do during those interviews.
Yeah, I like that. I like that question. No, you're right. That's when you create that type of environment, people will want to go there. And
Yeah.
Google was known for that. They love to talk about all their nap rooms and all the food you get and they create a very attractive environment. So IT firms need to take a page from the Googles and the Apples of the world because you create an attractive environment people want to work at, and you'll have a list of people to choose from. So
Yeah.
great tip, great
Yeah.
tip. Now, um, I'm sure you have really good reasons as to why MSPs should stay connected for info and trends, but do you mean by joining communities? Because it sounds like your group also has a community type of environment where thought leaders join on a call every week. Is it every month, or am I off base on what I'm describing here?
Nope, nope. Yeah, you're right on track, and it's more than that. It's nowadays. In the olden days, it was like you link yourself to one community or one partnership, and that was kind of the exclusive one that you focused your energy on.
Yep.
You didn't dare do two or three or more. But nowadays, it's so easy to adjust to that. And I'll just kind of use, we have the ability to adjust our news feeds. Okay. We can tune into whatever we want to listen to. You just need to tune into the right ones, the ones that fit your business, that give you information that can help you grow, help you be more successful. And, it's everything from great podcasts like yours, Fernando, where you're sharing information and tips and helping people become more successful. There's a lot of on-site events. There's all sorts of emailed newsletters, but you need to stay connected to that. Being successful, I think, is really pretty easy. You're not trying to reinvent the wheel. You just
Yep.
need to find out what's working and do more of that and less of what's not. And how you learn those things is through other people,
Yep. Yep. No, I
right?
agree. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and sometimes you might be doing all the things properly. You just need, I remember how lonely it was as a business owner without partners. You were doubting yourself, like, am I doing the right thing? And
Yep.
sometimes you just need someone to just say, yeah, you are. So
But we see a lot of imposter syndrome, right? You get this imposter syndrome in place, and you start to doubt yourself. Can I grow? Can I even run a business? Do I have the talent? Do I have the intelligence? These people start doubting themselves. So you need groups like this to keep you honest to yourself and to keep you motivated. And, if I was part of these groups, I would be telling these guys every week that, you know, we lose clients because we have clients that don't listen to us. This is when we lose clients, is when they
mhm,
don't listen to us, or there's new leadership in place, or there's several reasons. But the worst clients are the ones that don't listen to you, and you're going to eventually lose clients. So we never get nervous about it. We never get worried because we have 20 plus CEOs contact us each month because of our marketing strategy. We do such a great job on attracting the ideal client that we're constantly in meetings. We're generating contracts or proposals every day or every week because of the demand. And it's because it all comes down to marketing. And I'm going to
right.
tell you one more thing, James, that many people do not do. And it's something that I'll even admit I just started doing in the last 2, 3 years. Is I went from talking about tech services and how great we are at tech support and how long we've been in business and how our customer service is above everybody else's. And I'm just regurgitating what everybody else says. The prospect is hearing the same thing, what my competitor is saying, but I've changed it up where when they ask me what makes you different or what during my sales process, I explain to them we never talk about tech support or what tools we use or anything like that. One of my questions is, do you want to do you want productive employees? Do you
Mm.
want to have IT problems?
Mhm.
Because our clients don't. Our clients' employees don't call in for support because we have a very experienced team that implements strategies so you guys don't have computer problems. You don't have network issues. You don't
Mhm.
have software issues because we know what needs to be done. That's the value we bring to you, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And it's something that needs that their mind needs to make a shift because they need to hear this experience from people that have been doing this a long time because they don't have that exposure. They're just meeting with other people that are in their same boat and they're listening to them how, oh, marketing doesn't work. Oh, you're selling to this business. You need to tell them how great your tech business is and blah, blah, blah. No, you need to create a customer centric message that is going to bring value to your prospective client. Don't talk
Yeah.
about how great you are. That's not going to get any, it's not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
but yeah, I like your community there. That sounds great. I love it. So, as we know, you've been doing this a long time. What do you consider is going to work best? Organic growth or growth by acquisition? And this is the last topic, so we're almost going to wrap things up for you here.
Yeah, no, this is a fun topic. So early in my career, I one of the organizations that I worked with, we bought a couple other MSPs, single location uh, MSPs that were struggling financially and
Yep.
were potentially getting ready to go bankrupt. So we would get tipped off from the bank, that this was going to happen. And the bank didn't want them to default on all their loans. So they tipped us off and we kind of stepped in and gave them a way out, hired their team and kind of analyzed things. So I had a lot of acquisition experience early in my career. And, the reality is, most all of you that are listening to this, the way you're trying to grow your business is organically. And
Yep.
organically, what I mean by that is just you're trying to sell more stuff to your current customers. You're trying to do more marketing campaigns to attract leads of new businesses and add, grow more MRR. That's just growing organically. To me, when you're trying to do both at the same time, that is exciting.
Yep.
And there's so much M&A activity going on right now. Um, it's a great opportunity to buy businesses. Many of the transactions, Fernando, that I had been part of, that I helped broker deals for people, were no money down. So they bought a business and basically did an earnout, which is really no different than you hiring a salesperson and paying them a commission, right? And
Yep.
then bringing in business. It's the same thing. You just hire the new business owner or the key people in the company, you take over their accounts, and you use their profits to pay them back because you're running it now.
Yep.
And there's a lot of people that are ready to sunset the business, and for whatever reason. But there's a lot of opportunity out there for those struggling MSPs. And then I've been part of selling or buying really successful companies, and those are exciting too because you grab a highly profitable organization that say is $3 million, and then your current company is $3 million, and now all of a sudden you're $6 million. Your multiplier for the value of your business just went up because businesses that are bigger are worth more money overall. It's not really a dollar for dollar. The multiplier goes up when because it's just more desirable. There's
Yep.
people that want to buy those. So um, I love having an organic growth plan, sales and marketing. You want to have a plan, but you also want to be looking for good deals out there. And it's a great way, back to the one question where you asked about, where can you find a talent? the A players. They're working for your competitors, and sometimes, you could fix two problems. You can add more clients and MRR, and you can add some more engineers by doing a small acquisition,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So, yeah.
I like it.
So,
I
yeah,
like that. I like
I
that
like the
approach.
mindset. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, James, we're hitting the end here, so I'm gonna share your website, which is www.kernanconsulting.com. I appreciate you making time for us, and I'm gonna give your email out one more time just so everybody has it. So you can reach you guys if you want to reach out to James. You can reach him at james@kernanconsulting.com. And I'll include your email in the description on our description of what we're talking about today. So
Cool.
you can
All right.
also reach it there. So James, thanks again. Just stay on the line here, just so I can stop recording here. But to everybody, all the listeners, thanks again for listening. Don't forget to sign up to be a member on the MSP Corner. Please share our link with a CEO or a business owner who will find our information beneficial to their business. All right, guys, thanks again. Have a great day. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to sign up to be a member on www.mspcorner.com. Please share our link with a CEO who will find our information beneficial to their business. Have an awesome day.